regardless of what you feel, Trump is politically fucking retarded. Like he picks way too many fights. He can't focus on anything. He doesn't know how to get like PR wins. The big issue
Okay,
that I
I
have
see
is
what you mean.
when the left like fights against him, like ICE is important, like a border is important. Having like an actual immigration policy where we know who's in the country, like these are important things. And because Trump
Yes,
is
that's
so
all progressive. Like
yeah,
he
but like
believes in immigration, like
because Trump
immigration
is so
force.
fucking unhinged, like I see where people are coming from when they're like abolish ICE and shit. Like it's pretty crazy that there are kids drowning in Texas and then there are like horses like walking through MacArthur Park in fucking LA as a show of, and it's like what the fuck? This is the gayest shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
In this video, Myron Gaines desperately tries defending Trump until Destiny just snaps and things spiral fast as Destiny just starts peeling apart the entire logic behind Trump's immigration wins. Myron tries to make the case that Trump's border strategy has actually been effective, which even he calls it progressive, but Destiny just isn't having it with him. He calls Trump politically unhinged, mocks the PR optics of random Fed deployments, and basically drags the whole operation for being wasteful, chaotic, and just pointless. What's wild is how quickly the tone shifts here. Destiny doesn't just push back, he goes off, tearing through the excuses, calling out the absurdity of performative ICE raids, and even mocking the imagery of body armored agents doing literally nothing in LA while people drown at the border. You can feel his anger just building until he just lets loose. So make sure to watch till the end to see how Myron Gaines desperately tries defending Trump until destiny snaps at him.
What are we doing right now? These guys are kitted out in like body armor. There's like they're Ukrainians in ditches that see how our like feds are equipped, like doing nothing in California. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I think that I think there is a good conversation we had about immigration, and I think
Sure.
it pushed
Do you
off
want
even.
to go into immigration? It's up to you.
We could, but I think that whole conversation is even further away now after the unhinged shit that Trump has done everywhere. Like I think it's like fucked for a while now.
Okay, so my position is I think he's actually fairly good on immigration. I don't like what he's doing with the anti-Semitism bills, like deporting fucking college students. I think that's retarded. But you know, the stronger border, obviously, we know that you know, illegal entries are down like something wild, like 90% or whatever. But I do think in the whole, though I'm critical of the deporting of college students because I think those resources could be better allocated to actually going after illegal aliens. I think in general, enforcing immigration is a good thing, something that we haven't done for a very long time. And you know, outside of like, you know, people say, oh, well, Obama, you know, did a bunch of deportations. Yeah, like catching people at the border and releasing them are two different things. It's not the same as like interior action enforcement.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like interior enforcement, you know, that is where Trump like shines compared to other places.
I guess, yeah.
Other,
I mean,
other politicians.
hopefully they don't listen to this podcast at all. But like, I think that Trump could have gotten the easiest W's in the world by going to sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, and just sending the feds into like prisons, state prisons, and being like, we're going to do paperwork check on everybody, and we're going to, you know, dump these guys out. They could have gotten a lot of deportations. It would have been probably cheap, like compared to what they're doing now.
Well, the problem with the sanctuary cities is they don't even like they don't, and I can tell you this from like my professional experience, bro. They don't even honor the detainers. Like I remember when I was on a job, someone would be illegal. Hey, I want you to hold this person for us. They let him go.
For sure. But that's why I'm saying going to prisons where people are already arrested and shit, and then start doing like background checks there. I'm just saying it would have been cheaper than what they're doing now. It would have been really hard.
But they reserve the right to tell the feds you're not coming in here. Like that's how bad it was getting.
Supremacy, I don't know.
That's how bad it was getting.
There for like deportation related stuff. Even if they did say that, in my mind, it would still be a W because Trump could very easily say, "We're just trying to go into a prison. We just want to deport the felons, the violent criminals, and they're harboring them." Because now we can't say we just want people to be able to work and be happy and take care of their families.
Kind of like,
but when you're running around like raiding like fucking Home Depots and deporting, you know, like people to fucking El Salvador, like the fuck, like he's like picking the most evil shit to make everybody fucking hate him for no reason. And it's like,
well, that's the thing with immigration, right? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, yeah, you're gonna go after people that are just like hardworking in here, but they're here illegally, man. And this has been a long time that we've been kind of being like compassionate, like, oh my god, we don't want to be offensive, but it's like they got to get removed. And like when it comes to the thing with the state, so there's this myth, right? Like, oh, the feds can trump the state or whatever. State law enforcement actually has far more authority than people think, and they can literally tell you, go pound sand, you're not walking in this fucking jail, and you can't go in there and be like, well, you need to let me in. Like, no, the feds don't have as much authority as people think. Like,
So Destiny just starts firing off with this frustrated but almost surreal comparison. Like why the heck are feds in full body armor parading through California like it's Baghdad when people are literally dying at the border? He's basically saying that the whole thing looks performative and useless, and he's not wrong. You've got armed agents staging a photo ops while immigrant kids are drowning in Texas. That's not strength. That's just a political circus. Then Myron tries to pivot into a defense of Trump's immigration record, saying illegal entries are way down and that Trump shines in interior enforcement. But he throws in this half-hearted critique about deporting college students under anti-Semitism bills, calling it dumb but still holding the line that Trump's general immigration approach is good. Like bro, even if that is where you start admitting it's stupid, then maybe there's more rot in the policy than you're letting on. What makes this even worse for Myron is that Destiny doesn't just pick apart the numbers. He calls out the optics, the chaos, and the political cowardice here. Meanwhile, Myron's trying to play both sides. Like, yeah, I hate this part, but overall it's good. Like, nah, Destiny's already caught on. And the second he points out how easy it would have been to just raid prisons instead of random Home Depots, the whole strategy Myron's defending just starts looking completely idiotic.
They might not, but the thing is that like in matters of border enforcement, this is where the executive is at its peak when it comes to power and enforcement and everything.
Yes, on the border they have way more power. But here's the thing: I'm talking about interior enforcement.
No, I understand, but I'm saying you could probably make like immigration-related arguments when it comes to like state prisons and stuff. I'm sure that they could make the argument, or they could set up the same way they do for state courthouses, where they just wait outside the courthouse and when a motherfucker comes out.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why they have to do that because.
Sure, but they could do it in fucking prisons and state prisons. Like it's an easy optical win. You look bad defending it, right? Like it looks bad to throw people out of Home Depot, no matter what. Even conservatives are like, you know, you don't want to like. But if they just do it out of prisons, it'd be so much more popular. Yeah, and like at the end of this term, Trump is not deporting a significant number of people. It's not going to happen. And here's the
thing. Well, here's the thing. Like I see what you're saying. Like, hey, just sit out the side of jail and stuff. But the problem is that they get released at irregular times. You don't know when they're going to be released. They'll release them without telling you.
$168 billion. Put a cop in the back and in the front. You got the time to have these guys work doubles. You can do it. He allocates so much money. If he wanted to do it, he could do it. Okay.
No. Well, here's the thing. Again, with
this guy deployed the national. There's like only 600 fucking Marines to California. He can send some feds to sit outside an LA jail for 2 months.
Again, with ICRO, because they're the main people that have Title 8 or whatever. There's a certain amount of manpower, etc. Yes, you can designate people to have Title 8 authority and put them out there and everything. But we're talking about every single jail. That'd be an enormous amount.
Pick 2.
Okay, Destiny.
Hold on. Keep in mind, you're telling me that they can't do this at the same time where I watched like a Baghdad's invasion fleet like drive down LA to go surround MacArthur Park for a 3-hour horse gallivanting. Did you watch the videos of this?
No, I did see some of it. Yeah.
They caught 0 fucking people. However much money they spent on that, they could have monitored 1 prison for 1 month. I'm sure they could have.
No, of course. What I'm saying is that that's like, do you really want to put 6 guys at the jail, 24 hours waiting for this guy to walk out the jail? Like, is that a good use of resources?
Isn't it a better use of resources than the MacArthur Park deployment?
Well, again, it depends. It always depends on who the alien is. Like, what's their background like? Are they a criminal alien? Every case is obviously dependent on the person's criminal history, who they are, how many times they've been apprehended, whatever. But I do think in general, what we got going on with immigration is better than before. I know some of it is sensationalized to you, but I do think like
the El Salvador shit is unhinged. Why?
With who?
Why are we deporting anybody to El Salvador? Why are we make a deal to send them to their special prisons and paying them for it? It's like, we don't have to. It's just like unhinged.
Well, yeah, I see your position. But the thing is that like a lot of countries, some countries like won't take them back, right? Like I'll give you an example.
I thought we had a master deal maker.
No, these have been put, like some of these countries like Cape Verde, I'll give you a perfect example. Like Cape Verde, for example, won't take their aliens back. Like in Boston, they get caught all the time for being in gangs and committing violence. And since Cape Verde won't take them back, ICE can't do anything with them. They go back out into the streets.
I don't believe that they won't take it back. I think if the United States
a lot of countries don't take them
back.
We're
flying. No, 0 chance. The U.S. says we're flying. I'm telling you that from as a U.S. person, Definitely. If the United States were to say, hey, we're bringing these people back to your country and you're going to fucking take them, there's 0 world where the country's like, oh, actually, fuck you, U.S. You guys can keep them. We're not taking shit from you. No shot. Just like with Diego Garcia, when they're like, oh, no, we can't get him back. He's in El Salvador. There's nothing we can do. And all of a sudden,
well, we knew they could have got him back. But I'm saying again, there's some countries where they won't take him back, bro. I'm telling you, Cape Verde's one of them. There's more. I just can't.
Go drop them off at the UN. Give them to the Hague if you want. Fuck it. There's no shot. You're telling me that the United States couldn't deport somebody to a country because they have more power.
I'm telling you.
In that case, then we should say fuck it to all deportees. We should not do anything. If the US is
sensitive. So Destiny's tone here shifts from frustration to just straight up mockery. Like he's done playing polite. He's pointing out that the US somehow had the resources to deploy what looked like a damn military parade in LA. But we're supposed to believe that we somehow can't afford to post a couple of feds outside a state prison? Myron tries pushing back with, well, jails release people on weird hours. But Destiny hits back hard. $168 million. Put a cop in the back and the front. He's basically just saying, stop acting like this is rocket science. If Trump really wanted those wins, he could have had them. Then the conversation hits the El Salvador angle, and Destiny just unloads again. The whole "we're deporting people to foreign prisons we're paying for" thing just makes zero sense to him. And honestly, he's right. If Trump was the big bad master deal maker, then why are we cutting checks to ship people off to external systems when we supposedly have all the leverage? Myron just brings up countries refusing to take their people back, like Cape Verde. But Destiny's not buying that either. He's like, we're the US. We tell them to take them, they take them. And this is the moment where Myron just loses whatever grip he had on the argument. He just keeps trying to insert bureaucracy or technicalities, but Destiny's already past that. He's tearing down the whole illusion of competence. Trump had the power, the money, the narrative control, and still ended up with chaotic optics, wasted deployments, and a deportation strategy that makes no sense to anyone with a brain.
Diplomacy things like there's countries where
You think Trump is the sensitive diplomacy guy?
no, I'm not saying. I'm saying in general, these things have been in place forever. There's some countries that simply won't take their people back, which is why you have to remove them sometimes to other countries where they might have an agreement where they can get them back to that country. Does that make sense? I'm going in the weeds here.
No,
because this immigration.
That's fine. I'm saying grammatically what you're saying makes sense. I'm just saying that like realistically, that's not how it would work, right? Like if I had the passwords to some horribly incriminating piece of information on you, and then I had the best password protection shit on my computer in the world, and then we have a debate on whether or not you can get that information on my computer, what would you say?
I'm a bit confused by your.
If I had incriminating information on you in my computer,
Yep.
and I had it locked down so nobody could get in but me, would you agree that you could never get into my computer?
Probably not. No.
No, you would. You would just beat the shit out of me until I gave you the password.
Okay.
So you wanted me to use violence?
Yeah, well, we're the United States. What the fuck? We use violence everywhere. So I'm just saying that, like, if you want to say, like, well, diplomatically, there are issues and people don't want to take blah, 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 blah. And it's like, in a sense, that's kind of true. But at the end of the day, if the United States were saying, you're taking these motherfuckers back, they will take them back.
But again, the aliens got to be worth it. It's got to be a big deal. Like, it's got to be. Here's the thing. They don't want to go ahead and exercise, our weight and our, like, hey, you need to take them back unless it's really worth it. So in general,
is the El Salvador ship been worth it?
Well, I'm not talking about El Salvador. I'm talking about in general. Like, there are countries out there that simply won't take their people back. So what ends up happening is, and I'm telling you this from an immigration standpoint, like, they're not going to go and fight and be like, take this guy back, blah, blah. It's a pain in the ass. So instead, they'll remove them to another country. That country might have an agreement with that with that other country that won't take them back from us, and then they'll give them back that way.
And then
so that's the way that they get around it.
I think by the end of the 4 years, he's not going to have deported a significant amount of people.
Well, a lot of people aren't coming in too. So that plays into it.
Yeah, a little bit, sure. But I mean, if we have anywhere from 13 to 20 million, depending who you ask people here.
A big amount of the deportations people talk about, a lot of it is just, what's called ERs. Expedited removals, ERs. So, but I do think in general, I think what he's doing with immigration is good in general. Like, there's
even though by the end of his 4 years, we're not going to deport a significant amount of people, they're still all basically going to be here.
Well, deterrence is important, and people not coming in is super important as well. And closing down the border is important.
Sure. I mean, to be fair, nobody's coming here right now. Like, tourism is down like fucking 80% as well. But I mean, like, that's
who cares? Who cares? Strong borders. But yeah, I think in general, like, the deterrence and the people not coming in, that's a big W. Because the other thing too is that, like, when it comes to illegal aliens and coming, that funds a lot of illegal activity. So like these human smuggling organizations, they're taking a big pay cut as well. So it helps with many other ways where it's positive reverberations.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Curbing that is good. I think there are way better ways to do it. But
okay. What about amnesty for these illegals?
Okay.
I would say my position is that nobody wants to have the conversation, but amnesty is the only realistic way to solve the illegal immigration problem. I feel like you can do it. I feel like you can like a carrot and stick approach where if you've been here for, at least like 5 years, if you can prove you don't have like a criminal record, like, and I mean like a real criminal record, not like a fucking speeding ticket, but like no like felonies, no bad misdemeanors for violence or whatever, then I think you give a path to amnesty for maybe you cap them at a green card or whatever. And maybe you make them pay a fucking fine if conservatives want to jerk off for the next 5 years on their income. But like the reality is they're already hired by businesses. They're renting, they already, they exist in these communities. Like they're sucking them out would just collapse like so many different parts of economies, that if you have a path to amnesty, you can do that, and then simultaneously you hardcore ramp up your conditions or your penalties for violating. So make it so like if you get caught here illegally, it's not 5 years, it's like 25 years, or it's a lifetime ban from the US. Or if you're caught helping somebody, you have more ways to prosecute these people. Make it so like there's a path to amnesty, and then if you don't follow it, the penalties are like 10x what they were before. And then just once we have that shit settled, then you move forward with whatever hopefully a new immigration policy is. But just going at it with the stick approach, like, again, by the end of the time, we're not deporting 1 million people that are in here right now in the interior, except for maybe some of the people that came in for not amnesty, asylum seeking shit. Maybe those guys will leave.
Yeah.
But the problem is like never getting fixed, and then it just becomes like a virtue signal thing on both sides forever, and we don't get any closer to solving it.
So wrapping this up, Disney doesn't just out-argue Myron, he just completely exposes the selective logic that props up Trump's entire immigration narrative. Myron keeps tossing around deterrence and strong borders, but the moment Destiny presses for real numbers or outcomes, everything just falls apart. Trump had the power, the optics, and the money, and still deportations were low, and the policies made no structural sense. But what really shows here is the bias. Myron's not analyzing policy. He's just defending a team. He admits college student deportations are dumb, but still calls the whole thing a win. He blames bureaucracy when Trump drops the ball, and shrugs off contradictions like they're footnotes. That's not policy support. That's just narrative protection. And Destiny just saw right through it. From the fake optics in LA to the overblown nobody's coming in claim, he dismantled not just the arguments, but the bias lens that tried to justify them. And speaking of biases, are you getting tired of getting news from biased news sources? One outlet says one thing, and another says the complete opposite? How are you supposed to know what's actually true? That's where ground news comes in. It lets you compare how different media outlets, whether it's left, right, or center, are covering the same story. So you can see the full picture instead of just the echo chamber. And here's the best part. Click the link in the description and get a 40% off the Vantage tier, which gives you even deeper insights in media bias and political trends. So stay informed, think for yourself, and check out ground news in the description down below.